All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Why Date Wednesday, Women Crush Wednesday, whatever you call it. Myself, Dante, on the Why Date podcast. We have Kylie, we have Aunt Shirley, and we have a guest speaker on here. She was on our last episode before. Kim, what's going on? What's up? Oh, yeah, what's up? And, yeah, this episode is going to be astrology. Now I'm finding out the difference between the two. Astrology and horoscopes are two different things. I did not know, but I'm gonna be open for this episode. Okay, bear with me. I'm not huge on horoscopes and astrology and dating, but I have some people. We're not experts here, so put that disclaimer out there. But we're going based off experience. So, yeah, I mean, we could kind of recap on our last episode, but I'm not sure if you guys want to. That was what the episode was: trust and loyalty. I don't know, man. If you guys want to recap on the trust and loyalty before we go into it, or just go right into it.
It's up to you guys.
All right. Okay, we can probably just go right into it. We can go right into it. Trust and loyalty. That's it's interesting. That's the last episode. Tune into that one. But now I'm gonna go right into this one. It's going to be astrology and horoscopes. Like I said, from what I knowledge, I am a Virgo. Explain your guys' signs. What are your guys' signs?
And which sign are you asking about?
Huh?
Which sign are you asking about?
I'm asking which one of you guys. Explain to the listeners what sign you guys are.
So I'm a Leo sun, and I have a Capricorn moon, and I have a Pisces rising, and in life, I feel like more Capricorn-like than I am, or sometimes more Piscean, more than I am actually like a Leo and all the stereotypes that come with being a Leo. Yeah, that's me. I'm a Leo technically, but I don't know. I don't think I fit the stereotype, but.
What's a stereotype?
Well,
Explain to me, someone who doesn't know anything about this.
So there's this, I don't know. Okay, so there's a stereotype that Leos are like these super confident, like vibrant people. They need to be the center of attention. They're like, I think I said incredibly confident already, right? They're very bold, and oftentimes they need an audience to feel like validated. Okay, maybe that does sound like me a little bit, but
I feel like your confidence.
Okay, I will say, okay, I do relate to my sun sign, but I think right off the bat when people first meet me, they don't know that I'm a Leo. They're like, "Oh, you're a Leo?" I get
What's your rising again?
Pisces.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
All right, let's just stick to the common knowledge, okay?
Right,
the sun rising, we'll explain that later. I just don't know the difference to hopefully you guys explain the difference. That I do not know. But the current sign, let's go with just one. Current.
Okay, I'm a Leo.
Leo? Okay, all right. Because you start throwing a whole bunch of signs. I don't know anything about it. So I was like, huh? Yeah, sure. Moon? I don't know. All right. The Leo is Aunt Shirley. Kylie.
I'm an Aquarius sun. I feel like some of it is true. We are known to be independent. What else? Kind of like on the weird side, I would say. A lot of people say that they're weird, and I feel like I am weird, so that fits into it.
They're weird? Okay.
Rebellious,
okay.
Which I think is true, because sometimes I always go off and do my own thing.
You do?
Stubborn. I am extremely stubborn.
Okay. Okay.
Also at the same time friendly. I would say I'm friendly.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess that's basically an Aquarius. Oh, free-spirited, adventurous, spontaneous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Aquarius. That's the all right, Kim.
I am a Taurus, and we're in Taurus season
Ooh.
right now.
Ooh.
And
Dang.
Tauruses are, we are known, our flaw is to be stubborn. He
Yeah.
tells me one of my flaws as a Taurus too is I like to be right. He's pointing at me right now. It's true. So like we want to be know-it-alls, I guess, or we are know-it-alls. But the good things I think are why I love Taurus season 2 is it's all about indulgence and like romance and the finer things in life. It's a basically work hard, play hard kind of thing with Tauruses. We're probably some of the hardest workers out of all the signs, super loyal, really great work ethic. But then because we work so hard and we run ourselves to the ground, we love to live lavishly and enjoy that. With that too, we're really romantic and very sensual, and very much in tune with sexuality as much too.
Ooh, we didn't even talk about sexuality from each sign. Okay, all right. So that's a whole nother bracket. You know, we just getting the basic stuff. Okay. All right. So for those who don't really know, I'm looking this up on online. I could be wrong. They gave a basic trait for each sign. Okay. So you said you're Aquarius, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them, yeah, you did say you're right. They said progressive, original, independent, and then if temperamental. So, and then Leo, okay, Leo is a creative, generous, warm-hearted, humorous, if inflexible. Okay, is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds about right. And then Taurus is reliable, patient, practical, stable, stubborn. Okay, all right. So that's the basic one. The Virgo, of course, is loyal, analytical, kind, practical, if critical. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like in my mind, I could be, this kind of this basic stuff. I don't know how everyone is. Some people might fit into certain things, certain traits. Okay, like some people who are like, I don't know, a Taurus. Taurus could be analytical or loyal, right? So but we're basing off of science. So I've had so many interesting relationships with people who were judging me off my sign. Okay, so like they wouldn't even think of the time of day. They had bad experiences with Virgos, so they just blame it on every Virgo in the world. And I almost don't want to tell them what time I is. I'm like, So they asked me when my birthday is, so they already know. So it's even worse. I'm like, when's your birthday? Well, September 1st. Oh, you're a Virgo. It's not gonna work out. Just based on off of and people, it is so fucked up. It's best because a Leo said this to me. Okay, a Leo straight up said like, "Yo, Nas and Khalees didn't work out, so it's not gonna work out with you and I." And I'm like, "Whoa, like, damn, like that's kind of And now is Khalees on that as a Leo? Like, is she that hardcore Leo? Like, this is what it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. It could be just people. Like, is she the standard of as a Leo that we all see? Is Khalees a good example?
I've read a couple of things about different like astrology sites or articles where I think really at the end of the day, astrology is meant to inform you, right, of who you are and can be, or how it's about, yes, compatibility. But even if you aren't the most compatible to birth charts or signs, it's not to say it's impossible. It's just it's self-awareness, like anything. It's being aware of what are your strengths, your weaknesses, what are the ways you navigate the world, and how are we going to function in this relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone just asked about a Cancer.
Stay away from all Cancers, though.
Cancers are tenacious, highly imaginative, and persuasive if insecure. So that's it.
That is actually the one sign I would never date again is Cancer.
Damn. See why? But that's just one person, though, right? What happened? What happened with that Cancer that made you like not want to be interested in dating any more Cancers? Like that could be like.
Well, one quality that I notice is that they're very controlling and they're very sensitive. My mom is a Cancer, and one of my exes was a Cancer. I dated him for 2 years, and he was very controlling and crabby. too. That's like another thing. They're crabby.
Because their sign is their animal sign is a crab. I mean, geez. Someone said Team Scorpio. Don't get me started.
I love Scorpios.
Scorpios? What is Scorpio?
Like,
Resourceful, brave, passionate, jealous.
So
a lot of my closest students, and that's my student, are Scorpios.
I don't know. All right. I mean, we could get through the whole signs, explain the traits of each one. You know, I mean, we can go down the list. Now, is it a fact or a myth? Because I want to know, is this like a myth or is it kind of factual information that we can go off of to say that astrology works in dating and compatibility? Compatible. That's a question I want to ask. I mean, we can start with Kim, since she's a guest speaker.
Is it a fact?
Is it a fact or myth? Is it true? Do you know what I mean? Has it worked in your favor as far as compatibility in your past or current relationship?
I always, so like I said, I'm not the expert. Honestly, too, I have to do the history. I was like, oh, I should have done my research before we got into this. I'll be honest, like astrology is one of those things that I just take it for face value. And started learning about it because it was in magazines like Teen Vogue back when magazines were a thing. But what I think is a fact about it is in a historical system that we use. And because my background is I'm a college counselor, and I love astrology signs is because it's this very universal system of characteristics and traits that we can use as a foundational starting point to identify ourselves with and connect to people or not connect to people. So I do think it is something that's tried and true. And it gives, for me in my dating and in my current relationship, even when we started dating, it was like, okay, I'm a Taurus, you're a Gemini, I've dated a Gemini.
Ooh, two-faced, right?
Okay. Talk about what parts you think you are like that and what parts I'm very wary of, and then let's move forward. So, but I won't date. I wouldn't want to date a Virgo man again.
Oh, you gotta tell us what happened. What happened with the Virgo man? Speaking of all the Virgos out here,
it's not just one. I gave them chances. I gave you 3.
Now, did you give them chances because of the compatibility? Because I did my research on Virgos and compatibility. I looked into that. They said Virgos are good with Taurus and Scorpios. So
they are good.
That's what they said. Compatibility.
Yeah,
I don't believe it, but I've had some interesting encounters with Taurus. I think
doesn't it get down to there's something about like a Virgo man with a Taurus woman and a Virgo woman with a Taurus woman. Like I feel like there's also that gender sex dynamic thing that should be considered.
Everybody hating on the Virgos, man. I'm saying you, man. Damn. It's tough out here. Well, I mean, yeah, that could be true. That is a difference between a Virgo woman and a Virgo man. And I've actually been really close. One of my close friends is a Taurus man. So, I mean, he's a Taurus, So, I as far as women, I don't know. Well, I just learned to just like look past that. Like, all right, whatever. It doesn't work out. All right.
Yeah.
But I've been actually encountering a lot of Scorpios, so that's interesting.
Well, that's a good example of how you should take it at face value, because Virgos are supposed to be compatible with other earth signs, which are Taurus and Capricorn. So the fact that like you didn't get along with other Virgos, Kim, then that's like, proof like, oh, you shouldn't always like believe this.
Yeah, it's true. I've actually had pretty good relationships with the Virgo woman too. So, I mean, I've actually been really cool with a lot of Virgo women. As I can see, they tell me that all the time. I don't really look into it. Okay. So same question I asked Kim, Kylie, myth or fact? I'm sure you're going to say fact, but as we know, you're done with Cancers, but is there any other experience that show that was true about their sign that you've experienced in your past relationships?
That we are supposed to be compatible.
Yeah,
Like,
a certain situation,
we're
like let's say
supposed
for
to
your
be?
sign, and you encounter someone who supposedly your compatibility, but it just never either was it right? Did you match with that person, or was it full on compatibility?
Well, my longest relationship, he was a Libra, and we're supposed to be compatible because he's also another air sign. So I felt like, yes, we did work out. We were compatible. Um, Actually, my last relationship, he was a Scorpio, and
Ooh.
and based on based
Dang.
on our signs, we're not supposed to, be compatible with each other. But I felt like we were really compatible. Like I felt like I was the most compatible with him, like out of any of my relationships. So some of it's true and some of it's not true, but you shouldn't use it as an excuse to like not date someone.
Well, people do. There's some people who do that, man. I've seen it. They see that didn't work out for them, so they're just closed on. Like, nope. I'm like, man, that just could be the person, though, man. Like, let's
Like
really look at the.
friends you have done this, or people you've tried to date?
Who you asking?
You, Dante.
Me? People I know, people I've tried to date, people I've dated. In the past, I'm just like, oh man, nope. So, I just get, huh?
That makes me. I'd be like, I question them as a person.
I was like, I don't know, but but they said that was one of the reasons why. Like I've heard that a few times, just based on their factual information. I'm like, you're not really backing up with any real information. You're just going off in your own experience. So you just, that's like, oh, I'll never date like basketball players again, just based on X, Y, and Z. Like I'm like, that doesn't.
That almost comes back to that prejudice kind of.
Yeah, I was like,
argument.
I don't know. See, I wish there was a word for it. It's like you're a astrologist. Like you're you're an astrologist. That's what you are. No, dang. Okay, so same question, Aunt Shirley. And your experiences in being a Leo, since I heard that Leos are the leader sign. They are the lion.
Zodiac.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to be compatible with fire signs, and for some reason, like Aries and we just do not get along. And I think there's some kind of truth to it, because Arians, there's this general idea that they're leaders and they want to like take charge, and Leos also want to like take charge. And so in my relationships with like Aries men, it's like we're always like competing with who's going to be the leader. And then like there's like lots of butting of heads. I do think that if you are basing your entire like desire to like meet someone off of their astrology sign, you probably don't know that person that well, and so you're looking for ways to kind of compensate for trying to understand them.
Yeah.
However, like I don't think that you're just your sun sign. I think you're a whole bunch of different things working at once. And like Kim brought up earlier, those things are just like potentials. It doesn't mean like it's going to happen. Like it's not true that I'm always going to have a terrible experience with an Aries, for example, but it's still fun. And for me, I find myself more attracted to like earth and water signs versus like air and fire, but I'm supposed to be compatible with like air and fire signs. And that's just because like I have a lot of earth in my own chart. So I'm not just like a Leo.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
the same way. I think I agree and find more alignment with my reality in the elements, the specific signs.
Yeah,
of astrology.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can see it. So, okay, explaining the signs to people who don't know. Element signs, right? Okay, so what are was it earth, wind, fire, water, right?
I know you watched
Captain
the last
Planet.
Airbender, Dante.
Okay. I see. Now that's a whole nother topic because I don't know those element signs.
You know the elements.
I don't. I only know the one that people tell me they are.
And then
your earth sign. I'm like, okay, all right. I know the earth signs. What signs what astrology signs are? So it's Virgo, Taurus. What's the other one?
Capricorn.
Okay, and then water is
And water is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio.
Oh, Scorpio. I thought Scorpio was fire. No.
No.
Okay.
Fire is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and then air is Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't. Is that a whole nother different thing? Their element signs make a difference in the dating, or what? What do we? What are we identifying with that?
What make the element matters, but also like the modality matters. So like if they're cardinal, if they're fixed, or if they're mutable. Like if you look at like your regular 12 months out of a calendar, the reason why Aries is first is because it's cardinal energy, and cardinal folks, regardless of their element, means that they're very like, they're initiators. They're the types of people who like go forward. And then you have mutable energy that like or fixed energy that kind of likes things to be consistent, and they like, that's why they're stubborn. That's why most most fixed signs kind of like things to be like consistent. And then you have the mutable signs who like want change, and they're like they're the ones who like destroy the old to bring in the new. And these are supposed to be like representative of like what goes on in like the different seasons. And then you have different elements within it too. So like, for example, you're a Virgo, you're mutable, so you're movable earth. And so that means like you're more like adaptable than someone who's like fixed earth, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're actually, all three of us are fixed signs.
Fixed signs, I know. Signs. I think this is biased, but I think fixed sign women are like the best of all of them.
Wow, okay.
And that's
explain.
Well, I will. I think, well, it's because fixed sign women generally are really beautiful. I don't know, I'm biased. I think fixed sign women are,
it's biased, but it's all right.
Gorgeous.
It's okay.
They make they make the best partners. Like they're consistent, they're loyal, they're not afraid to tell you when you're wrong. Like Pisces, like water Piscean energy is like very like wishy-washy. Like one day they're with you, the other day they're not.
Dang.
Fixed women are like, they're solid.
Damn, you hear that? A woman said, one of the girls that said Team Pisces, and she's probably quiet now. You just kind of just.
Oh, my bad.
You kind of just do shade on her real quick.
It's okay. We have Pisces in our chart too. I'm
Yeah,
also
like,
Pisces rising.
Exactly.
Now that you said rising, okay, now you guys got to explain to me this whole sun rising, moon rise, whatever it's called, moon, sun, right? I don't know the difference between two. Okay, explain that. So I know it's in the notes. Sun personality, moon emotions, right? Explain a little bit more, Kylie, since you're a little bit more educated. Probably about the same, but you know the difference. You asked me about what it is. Now you can explain to us what these mean in layman's terms.
Your rising sign is how you appear to others. For instance, I'm a Pisces rising, so that means that we're kind of like people pleasers, and we're very gullible too. What else did I read? We're also like chameleons, like we can adapt to like different people and like different personalities. But yeah, it's basically like how you show yourself to others.
Yeah.
And then what about so sun, is that personality? That's what we talked about, right? Personality is our base sign, right? By our birthday.
Yeah, that's like your basic sign that you would look up in a magazine.
Okay. And then
that's like when you exist throughout the day, like your day-to-day life. Going to work, hanging out, like that's who you usually are
when the sun's out. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, all right. And then moon. Okay.
Your moon is going to be your subconscious, how you feel, how you process your emotions. And that's also based off of the relationship you had with your mother, according to some astrologists.
Okay.
So like, it's like your emotional well-being and how you process how you feel is your moon.
Oh. Okay. And then,
he's like,
okay, whatever.
Sure.
Okay, at the Sagittarius moon, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you ever feel like?
Go ahead.
Do you ever feel like let's say you're in a situation with someone, let's say you're like in a conflict with like your like a family member, right? Do you ever feel like this desire to kind of escape or like adventure out or like try to like put the emotions into like something that's like logical or like philosophical instead of like emphatically
Oh,
connect with that person?
yeah. So, well, based off my sign being, you know,
Sagittarius.
uh, analytical sign, that's going to kick in at probably at some point. The logic's going to kick in. But yeah, I have experience where I just wanted to get away logically thinking. I mean, that's pretty much my emotion. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's correct. I've been in that situation before.
What's Dante? What's your moon again?
Sagittarius.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Kylie told me what mine were, and I think that's what it was, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Sagittarius.
Okay. So you would find that information out through what time of your birth? What was it? How do you find that
Yeah, the
information?
time and
Okay.
where you were born.
Okay. And so the rising and all that stuff is moon, and then rising are two different things. Okay. And then Venus, what's that? What is that planet? Are we talking about planets now? What's this? What does that mean? How
Venus
we
is
attract?
love.
Okay. I didn't see how we attract others and what we find attractive. So that's a whole nother thing. So is that still count as the astrology sign? You would be a Venus Sagittarius or Venus Leo.
Mm-hmm.
No, it
Okay.
changed.
And
You
you
can
find
change.
okay, and then Mercury's Express, I think, right?
That's how you process information, how you learn, and how you verbalize that out,
Okay,
like
and then
the
Mars is
information you're
I
getting.
act. Okay, hey, this that's a lot of different things you got to look at. So we're gonna zone it into the dating wise. Okay, I had a question. I was really gonna say something. I just totally forgot. Hold on. All right.
Yeah, the way I like to see it too, because I'm a visual person, is to think of like it's just outward to in. So rising is how you appear on the outside, right? Sun is like you're getting a little more closer to your core, like day-to-day folks, and then your moon is really like the most intimate feelings that you have and like the vulnerable side of yourself.
That's who would come up in a relationship. You would see more of your moon showing versus like the person you meet at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like for a lot of creatives and artists, like I very much when I found out my moon, it made sense to me. My sun as a Taurus, it doesn't make sense to me as an artist. And then when I learned that I'm a Gemini moon, I was like, oh, that totally makes sense.
Okay.
Because I get bored as a creative.
Yeah.
Now, has that worked in your favor to find someone who's like the same sign as you are? Like if they're did your boyfriend's a Gemini? Did that work in the sense of you being okay? All right, you
It
being
does, yeah.
okay. So there's another part you got to look at. So if you match with someone else, like oh well, it's okay, it's fine. Like my other side's this, you're same as yours. We work out.
Exactly. See, we're out here trying to save relationships and being
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So basically, don't just go off of the sun sign, because if your sun sign isn't compatible with, your partner, then maybe one of your other planets are.
So I could tell the ones that don't think it work out, say, well, what's your moon? What's your rising? I need
Yep.
to know this information before we move
Exactly.
forward. You might be a Virgo. Okay, all right. Well, something I learned new today. I didn't know. All right. So, how important is or astrology when choosing a partner? Is it important to you guys? You guys feel it's an important thing, important aspect to it? What do you guys think?
Okay, this might sound silly, but whenever I'm dating someone, I pay attention to what his Venus and his Mars are, because the Venus is supposed to be the representation of how he likes to love and what he finds attractive, and Mars is like how he goes about like getting what he like. It's just like how he expresses his energy, how he goes about getting things done. So like I've dated men who have like Venus and Pisces, for example. And Venus and Pisces men are like so codependent. Like they're so loving and they're so like unlimited. They want to like, there's no boundaries with them. And my Venus is in Virgo, so it's like the complete opposite of them. So like I need that space. I don't like for me to express how this is true for me, like for me to like show love, like I need action, or I need something that's like tangible. Whereas Venus in Pisces is very like watery and emotional, and it can be kind of awkward. So like I do pay attention. That's why if there's anything that like I'm paying attention to, it's like what's his Venus sign, and if it's compatible with mine.
What is like it initially isn't a big factor to me. Like at the end of the day, like I wouldn't say I'm not gonna like mess with somebody because of their signs. But for Hui and I, when we did our birth charts together, we found out that our Venus also we're the same.
Oh,
so our Venuses are both in Cancer.
Oh.
And we're like, oh, that makes sense. And this was like months into us being together, and we already kind of found our norm together. We have this little, like, our inside joke is we go like, you're mine, and we do that. Like, crap.
I see all the memes everywhere. Yeah.
Wow, like, that's crazy.
That's cute. Yeah, exactly. And like, so the way you guys express love, like, you feel just, I would assume, more at home with him, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess, you know. Just like, okay. Sure. Venus and Cancer, he said love. Someone's commented, Venus and Cancer, love sign. Love the heart. Put a heart.
Aww.
Shout out to Arthur. What's up, man? Okay. Kylie, since you're the knowledgeable in this too.
Why do you keep saying that? I feel like we all.
She adopted me. She adopted me my sign, so she's like my
she
teacher.
Converted you.
She's my teacher. So on these signs.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something fun to look at, and astrology is definitely something where you can feel belonging, you know, and it's something interesting to read, but I don't think it should be a reason why you shouldn't date someone, you know. For instance, if I'm dating someone and our signs aren't supposed to be compatible, I kind of just like ignore that and kind of just go with the flow and see like how it works out.
Yeah.
Because I don't want, you know, a piece of paper to like tell me like, oh, this person isn't supposed to be right for you, you know?
Very rebellious of you. A very Aquarius.
Very, you're so Aquarius.
Here we go.
Well, that makes sense.
Same old. Okay, so now that you said that, Kylie, the next question I'll ask is, have you ever liked or vibed with a sign that said you two weren't not compatible?
Yeah. Like I mentioned before, my ex is a Scorpio and we weren't supposed to be compatible. But he was like the most like funny person that I've ever dated, and he was like very witty and like sarcastic, and I'm like really into that. So, and he was really loving too. Like I really love the way he loved me.
Okay. Now did the Venus sign match with?
I don't know. I didn't even look into that. You see, that's because like our signs weren't supposed to be compatible. So I'm like, okay, I'm not reading anything with like Scorpio and like Aquarius together. I'm not going to go based off of that. So I completely like ignored astrology, like our whole relationship.
I can imagine so many people have had that moment when they started, especially, I would say, especially the women. Like, I'm sure the ladies here have had that moment when especially when you were younger, when you met a guy or even a guy you had a crush on, and then you found out his sign, and then you went on the internet to look at the compatibility, and that moment when the internet is loading and telling you if you're compatible or not.
It works.
Like,
I believe in this.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was caught up in that for a minute. I was like, nope, not again. Not today. I don't know. I learned now. I know that there's different versions of this that I didn't know, so I can use this to my advantage. Someone who thinks it won't work out. You never know. Okay, all right. So I'm not sure if any other questions. I know we talked about a lot of different stuff on here, but let's see. Hold on, let me look. I know we have a lot of information to talk about. I'm trying to condense it down to the dating aspect to it. But I mean, the signs itself, I mean, outside the signs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think for people that, especially for dating wise, if you are anti-astrology, it's still good to know, especially for the men, right? More so, it's always men that are anti-astrology. know the language of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so that if you meet a woman who is very like, well, I can't fuck with you because you're a Virgo, well, you can be like, well, but do you want to know my moon sign?
Ooh.
And then
yeah.
the door is still open.
There you go, Kim.
Yeah.
Use that.
It's always a turn on when they know their moon sign and their rising sign. Yeah.
I don't get it. This is like,
Okay, Dante, it's just 2 other signs that you need to memorize. That's it.
that's
Like,
2
can you
more
do
that I just don't need to question anymore. It's just gonna it's gonna be over analytical for me. It's gonna, like, the analyzed version of me is
And
gonna,
your Venus sign. Okay, that's 4 signs, 4 words you just need to memorize. You can do
Put
it.
it on a note in your phone.
Yeah.
no, it's just too
Put it on
much.
a little post-it.
All I need to know is this Virgo. That's it, right? That's what it matters.
No,
Dang.
Dante, you are much more complex than that as a person.
So much. It's over analyzing it. It's over analyzing.
Yeah.
Someone said my sun and moon is Scorpio.
Ooh, sounds intense.
Yeah, Scorpios are very intense people.
Yeah, like.
Dang, why is Scorpios getting it pretty bad? Everyone thinks like Scorpios are crazy or something like that.
Scorpios are
I feel like
intense.
out of all the signs, they have the worst rap.
They do.
Your
Yeah.
sign is ruled by like the genitals. Like, okay, so I don't think we went into this, but like each individual sign represents like a body part, right? And like I think Capricorn is like kneecaps or knees.
Kneecaps.
Yeah, and anyway, Scorpio rules the genitals, and like there's this stereotype that like all like Scorpios are very like sex motivated and like very like sensual and like to go deep into like the realms of sexuality. And I don't know if that's true or not, but every single Scorpio I've met has been like intense.
Scorpio's like
Very
the underworld.
passionate, right?
Yeah, very passionate.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, let's talk about that, like sexual activities and the signs. Let's talk about that, since now you want to bring that up now. Since you know what? No, we can talk about that for a little bit. And you're experience-wise, sexual experience at least, yeah. Does that matter in astrology sign, sexually wise, sexual activities? We can talk about that. Does that really matter? Does that make a big deal breaker, make or break? And don't worry, Danish, I'll answer your question about what you just asked. But
I only know about, I've never really thought too much actually about that. I only know about 3 of the signs, which would be Taurus. Taurus is the one, they're supposed to be, like I had mentioned, they're supposed to be the sensual ones. Very much about the foreplay. Scorpios are about the intensity, the act. They get right into it, right? And then I know, what is it? Well, I mean, this is kind of about sex, but I know Geminis have a bad rap too about being the cheaters.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah, Geminis and Sagittarius have like that rap of being unfaithful.
Yeah, which
poor Geminis and all of them. Damn. Well,
it's this thing that they have to constantly be on the move, and they're like, they get stimulated by so many different things. So there's this idea that like they can't be faithful. But I don't know. I feel like Capricorns are that, and they're supposed to be the ones who are like really loyal. But like every Capricorn dude that I've met has been very like they've just been like fuckboys. I don't know.
Damn.
You can't take them seriously.
And well, maybe their Venus sign was different. Maybe their moon different from.
He's learning. He's learning.
Maybe that's what it was. So
out of all the signs that I've been with, I would say that Scorpio is the one that I've had like the best sex with.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
They're always like very like intense, super passionate. Like my last boyfriend, my ex, like whenever I'd ask him like, oh, like what are you passionate about? And he's like, oh, I'm passionate about you.
Oh,
I freaking love that. Like he used to make memes about me. Like he used to like make memes with my pictures. He's so funny.
Dang.
We're his muse.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I mean, I guess we say Scorpios are the rock stars, I guess, in sex.
In the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish my Venus was. I wish that was true for whatever sign that would be. Yeah, I don't think it's true, but it's okay. I mean, for whatever sign I am, Sexually wise, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I know what they say about Virgos. That I don't know.
Virgos, I can imagine right in the middle of
Analytical.
sex. You're like, wait, we have to stop because we're not doing it the right way.
There's certain ways to go about doing this to make sure this is successful.
Exactly.
Like there's certain angles. I even have a chart of how successful this works. Got like a laser pointer and just look. Dang, that's so true. We do question
Or
it.
like it has to be like super clean, right? Like they will not
Clean,
mess with
yeah.
someone who's like messy or like hairy or whatever the
Damn
Yeah,
those Virgos.
that is something I did love about. I'll say I won't hate fully on Virgo men. The ones I dated, they're all very clean. They take care of themselves very well.
Yeah.
I like that.
Good. Yeah, I know we are. I agree. I'll say that one. I am for sure like neat freak on that one. I'm like, all right. Yeah, no, it's true.
So would you, I mean, it's kind of related to sex, but maybe not, but would you date a woman then that is not clean? Because that's a big central part about Virgos, supposedly.
Well, that was something it's hard for me to look over. Like I can't overlook not saying anything, just going like, "Oh, you didn't wash your hands as you came in." That
Well,
right?
I
Like,
mean,
I didn't hear the water faucet when you left after that. Like, you know, like I'll lick it in my head, but I won't say anything. I'm just like, all right, I don't want to embarrass her. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to make her look like a fool. So I just go, oh, well, you didn't do that, did you? Okay, all right. Well, let's overlook that, I guess. You know. So that does cross my mind. It is. At that point, I'm like, I might not do it too often with this person.
and
You women,
you shouldn't.
I'm saying you women, and sometimes I lived with women. I lived with a whole bunch of women. I don't know what signs they were, but they were all crazy. Like makeup was all over the counter, mirrors were all messed up, and like I'm like, man, you guys are freaking like it was a mess. It was messy. It was a mess situation. So I've been traumatized by that. I was like, I'll never live in that situation ever again. Like make sure everything's
But
clean.
it's all about the perspective.
Sheets are
So
clean.
was it messy, or was it just your Virgo lens?
There you go.
Sheets need to be clean. I need to be clean. I need to be purged after that. Like, I make sure I'm clean 3 times. Clap 3 times for that. Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay, well, that's true. That I'll agree with. That's the only thing I can agree with. I'm just making sure. I'm speaking for everybody. I don't know if that's a sign thing. That's just a me thing. I think. I don't know if that counts as a sign.
I don't know,
But,
Dante.
okay, well, I'll make sure. I got my own mess of cleaning. I make sure no one else is involved with that. You know.
That's deep.
Okay, well, I know someone else had a question, but I can go on with it too. That's just funny. Sexual one is funny. I like talking about sex. It's funny. I don't give because I see all the memes of what people say about certain signs, and it was hard for me to find this information, guys. It was so hard for me to find traits because I seen like, oh, hard-headed. Like I just hear all the people just talking bad about another sign. So it's funny to me. I like the banter that people say about other signs. But it's funny to me, man. It's I can go on for days for that. Someone asked a question. I don't know if it's off topic.
Wait, Dante, who did you say? What's the best sign you've been with in bed?
Best sign? Oh man.
Yeah.
What? You guys didn't answer that either. Why?
We're
You guys did. Okay.
You can go.
Oh man, I don't know. What sign were they? What sign were they? Yeah.
All your Rolodex of women are gonna be like, oh, is he waiting for their sign to be said?
It might be actually, you know what? It's a cross between a Libra and a Taurus, actually, surprisingly.
not really surprisingly.
Yeah, I've actually yeah. Taurus actually surprised me sometimes. Scorpio was just like little crazy for me. It got too intense. But you are right. The women and men. Yeah. I was like, oh, she for sure is like Scorpio, right? But yeah. Scorpios are like kind of third too. But yeah, Yeah, those are I don't know. I have to ask him what sign they are. I was like, what sign are you again? Because I don't look into it, so it's hard for me to kind of ask. But I don't know. That's the ones to answer your question. I think, right? Sorta, maybe. I don't know, but I guess the Scorpios are top.
Scorpio. So that's what you said? So your final answer is Scorpio?
No, it's not. It's not. But I have top three. Like there's ones that a Taurus surprised me, and then a Libra surprised me. So it was like those two. Yeah. What sign are you guys naturally attracted to? That's what someone asked. I feel like I naturally attract Scorpios, Libras, and yeah.
That are attracted to you, or that you're attracted to?
Naturally attracted to. What usually happens. Oh, actually, no. Taurus, I'm naturally. I feel like I'm naturally. But then, like, they're like, it just sinks. It just goes with it. Like, I'm like, oh man, damn, that's what's up. And I found what sign I'm like, okay.
Of course.
All right. But that's. What about you guys?
I love my air signs. So I love Aquarius and I love Gemini. Those are probably my favorite. And I think that's kind of like Anne Shirley was saying, as someone who's earth heavy, I love the opposite of me.
Yeah.
So I love people in my life that are very like floaty and like can't sit still for too long, because I love to be you could see it in our loft here. Like I could sit all day and then Hui will just be running circles around me. and I love that.
Oh, that Gemini. Well, Geminis.
And that's with like friends even too. Yeah, I'm attracted to people that are air signs.
I heard yeah, Geminis are. I only know Hui's like the only Gemini I really know. That's crazy. I don't know a lot of Gemini. I don't really naturally see a lot of Geminis. That's crazy. Okay.
Naturally attracted to like Capricorn men. I think it's also because they're like the fathers of the zodiac, so they tend to be very responsible and
so you're looking for a dad.
I mean, I like responsibility. My moon's in Capricorn, so I just naturally gravitate to them. They usually have their like stuff together. They dress really well, and they're just like very mature. So like my best relationship was with a Capricorn.
Damn. It seemed like nobody really talked about the Sagittarius here, man. I know Markel mentioned that he was Sagittarius, and he said that was like the best sign. So I mean,
I agree. Is that one sign that I'm naturally attracted to, and that I naturally attract? Like I usually attract a lot of Sagittariuses, and I'm usually attracted to them too, but it's never worked out. Like the ones that I'm attracted to usually like don't go for me, but the ones that do like me, like I'm not really into them. And I think it's because they're very like Sagittariuses and Aquariuses, they have a lot of similar traits. They're both very spontaneous, like adventurous, free-spirited. And I feel like whenever I'm with a Sagittarius, I feel like we just naturally get along. It's just like really easy for us.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I feel like the ones that get the least recognition are Sagittarius and Capricorn.
Yeah, for sure.
Sags are homies. Sagittarius are homies. They are floaters. That's what someone said. That's funny. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if anyone else had any questions about it. Someone said you're right. Arthur. Shout out to Arthur. He's funny, man. He's been saying some funny comments on the Facebook. Love it. I love it. Well, he mentioned his top three were Gemini, Leo, and Aries. Nanish said top three is Virgo, Leo, and Libra. That's his ones he's naturally attracted to. Let's see. Someone mentioned that. So no one likes Cancers.
No. No. I think
so.
Okay.
Poor crabs.
Cancers are great as friends, but like relationship wise, like you're about to go through an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm good.
Or is it the sun or the rising or the moon, Venus?
No, it's all around. Capricorn,
Okay.
or if you have Cancer, just avoid. Will not recommend. I can say this because my mom's a Cancer.
Well, my mom's a Cancer too.
Yeah, so
yes, I feel like.
My older brother's a
My
Cancer.
dad's an Aries, my mom's a Cancer, so it's like she's very emotional and very emotive, and my dad's very logical and very like stick to reality, and then they meet a Leo.
That's perfect. You mentioned that, Angela. I was going to ask. I'm curious to hear what everyone's parent signs are, because I feel like that also impacts a lot in terms of how you see astrology and like in dating.
I don't know. I feel like my parents are the complete opposite for sure. They're the most opposite pair I've ever seen.
What are their signs?
I don't know. I think my mom's like a Capricorn, I think.
Well, when are their birthdays?
So my dad's June 28th and my mom's January 17th.
Oh, yeah, your mom's a Capricorn and your dad's
Okay.
A Cancer?
Yeah, Cancer.
Oh, is it Cancer? Okay, that makes sense.
We're the opposite.
They're complete opposite. Like, I don't know. I was like, how did y'all work? Like, how did this even work? How are we born? I questioned that. Like, mom was like, I don't know. I'm like, man, that's like, you know what? They made it possible that opposites do attract, I guess.
Yeah.
What about you, Kylie?
So my mom is a Cancer and my stepdad is a Pisces, and they're like the perfect couple. Like they get along so well.
They're just always
they're like best friends.
together.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like my mom is very she's very like strong-minded and very very dominant, and then my dad is more of like the passive one, and he's very patient with her, like even when she's being like very difficult. So I'm like, oh mom, this is like the perfect man for you.
Nice. Was it like hard growing up in a household with like so much wateriness and you're like very like logical?
I was like, I need earth. I need something. Something.
Yeah,
it's too much. I'm swimming.
How about you?
Yeah, Kim. Huh?
Oh, my mom is an Aquarius.
Oh.
And my dad is a Taurus.
Oh.
So it is a challenge in the household, that's for sure.
So it's earth and water?
For them, it's earth and air, right?
Yeah.
Oh, earth and air, okay.
Yeah, Aquarius is air, but people always think that we're water. Because
it's aqua. That's the only one that makes sense. Anyway.
Yeah, and they're a type where the opposites are challenging.
Yeah.
Like, because my dad is a strong, and that's a Taurus man. Very like strong and dominant. Okay. And whereas my mom, that's where it comes in, is the rebellious. She's very quirky and rebellious.
Yeah.
So her own drum, and when I see it. Oh, so when I go home, when he's like, I need this done, Lila. And she's like, well, and then I hear it. She'll do this little like nab. She'll like nip that in, right? That's her rebellion. And we're like, just stop, Mom. She wants to cause trouble.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, wow.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
I love how they're like very stubborn in their own ways, but then at the same time, like they make it work, right? I feel like Aquarians, like, in my opinion, like this Tauruses provide like a home, like a safety net, like a space for them, right? I think Aquarians enjoy that kind of like the ability to feel at home somewhere. In my opinion, those are just like the Aquarians that I've come across. Like they like to go.
Kylie?
Yeah, that is true. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. What about you? Did you already say yours already?
My mom's a Cancer and my dad's an Aries. And
Okay. Well, I don't know if anyone has any other questions. We could talk about that later. If you guys want to we can do a post episode with a Q&A. We'll ask some of the questions that people asked that are kind of a little bit off topic. So it's going to be 10, 15 minutes if you guys got time. So I'm going to wrap it up here. And then I'll just go live here. We actually ended on the right time. We're still alive, and it didn't end. So we've been good on time. That's why, this is what I do with the women here. I feel like there's more organization than the guys is yapping.
Yeah, the guys like to ramble.
Yeah, I'm like, man, come on, man. We got time.
Maybe it's also because we're fixed signs, not necessarily just
am I fixed sign?
I love that.
Am I fixed sign?
No, you're mutable, Dante.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. So I'm just all over the place, huh? Not fixed.
Just going with the flow.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. But okay, we'll just in this one, and then jump into the post episode, open Q&A with some of the people on here, and then yeah, thank you guys for educating me on this. Now I know what to say to the big signs out there. I was like, hey, baby, just like my moon. I'm a moon. My moon says Sagittarius. Come on. Come on. So,
Put
he
that
knows
on
his
your
stuff.
Tinder profile.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a moon equal sign like, yo, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my Venus is this though. I don't know what my Venus is. I don't know how to look at my Venus. I gotta figure that out.
It could be something like, I'm a Virgo, but I know you really care about my moon, ...
Oh!
Dang, I'm telling you, man, I'm about to take over right now. But I'm still not convinced. I still think it's myth. Regardless, I don't care what anyone says. I don't fully believe in astrology, but it's okay. It's good to know this information.
Can you agree that it's fact that it is useful information in dating?
It's good to like throw banter. Like I feel like I use it as empty banter. Like throw it out there. Oh yeah, you're, and I know nothing about it. Oh, you're a Pisces. Psh, like eye roll. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know what it means. I just say it just to talk crap. It's just something to add on to a conversation. But like, I'm not gonna like fully indulge it. Like, oh yeah, if I study the astrology of this, like my Venus, I'm not gonna do all that. Okay, like you know what I mean. But it's good to know if I ever experience that again with some of these hard-headed Leos. But
Wait, what?
hard-headed Leos and Tauruses that I'm having issues with.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know, the ones that have been giving me real crap as those two signs. Yeah, I
you
said
better be careful.
I
You
said
also
it.
don't want to provoke a bull or a lion.
No.
I said it. I don't care. They you know what?
Oh, we could have talked about that. What are our signs like when we fight with partners?
Oh, on the post show.
Okay.
Yeah, post show. We can do that in post show. We can throw some jabs at each other on that one. But I will end it here, and I'll re-invite you guys all, and we'll just do the post episode.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
And I'll answer your question, Danish. I saw your question. I didn't forget. But okay. All right, guys. See you till the post episode.
Yeah.
All
Bye.
right.
Bye.
That's funny. Oh shoot. Oh, I didn't see you there. Hey, this is going on. This is Dante from the Why Day Podcast, the host, and hope you guys like our content on the last episode. And just letting you guys know that we are going to be posting everything on our website, www.whydaypodcast.com. And for all the information, you can go on here. I know if you guys already looked on the video, it's on YouTube. YouTube episodes are on here. Everything on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Google Play, all that is on there. Now, another thing we also are giving out for a lot of listeners who's been listening for a while, we actually have a Patreon. So a Patreon account, if you donate, it's a $5 tier of $5 a month. What we're going to be giving you is some exclusive content, which is going to have 30 to 45 minute Q&A before the episode. So if we typically have a guest speakers on there. We have some love coaches on there, like we had in our last episode. We have a love coach, relationship gurus, motivational speakers. So you got the Q&A time within 30 to 45 minutes to talk to them before we do our episode. Or if you want to talk to any of us, some of the speakers on there, the co-hosts and things like that, we also open that up for anyone out there. Also, we're going to be having an exclusive giving out the prior episode. So we're going to have the episode and you're going to have the first leak of the episode before we even put it on to everybody else to see. So that's all we have. It's just $5. It's a very small number. I know most people are, got other investments, whereas Netflix, I'm not competing with Netflix or Disney Plus, but it's something that we're giving out for you guys here. If you want to tune in there, that's also on the website. I'll put the link right down here. So it's www.whydaypodcast.com. And now I'm going to get back to my work. So if you guys want to kindly just, scatter